Hey there, welcome back to another episode. Hi, Kate.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Okay, so today's topic is one that I know befuddles a lot of new copywriters. There are a lot of things to be unnecessarily nervous about when starting a business, and I think this is one that is at the top of the list. So, Kate, what is our topic for today?
Our topic is, do you need business insurance?
Do you need business insurance?
Yeah, we could have a short answer to this, but we're not. You know, we're not.
Shortish. Concise.
But yeah, it's true. I think so many people think about this question though, because they want to be above board. You want to run your business the correct way. But it turns out you generally, I will say generally, do not need business insurance.
Mm-hmm. As a copywriter.
As a copywriter, yes.
You're a different kind of freelancer. Thank you for listening to the show. But as a copywriter, you do not need business insurance. Now, with that caveat that we are not attorneys. So
Glad
if
you said that.
really concerned, definitely talk to an attorney. So bear that in mind. We are not attorneys. We are not legal professionals, but this is our experience and this is to the best of our knowledge. So I understand where this question comes from. Like, people are afraid of anything that could go wrong in business, right? And I think for a lot of people, the idea of getting sued is the ultimate in what could go wrong with your business. And quite frankly, that's what insurance plays on, right? Is you're going to get sued. They're going to take your house. You're going to be on the streets. But that doesn't really come into play with copywriting. Because when we're writing copy, we're not writing copy for ourselves. We're writing copy for our clients. And that means that the copy that you are putting out there, you're not actually putting out there. You're giving it to your clients, and then your clients are putting it out as representations of themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the big thing here too is we are all, well, not all, but as a sole proprietor, as folks who are individually running our businesses and providing copy to clients. If you're an agency and you're planning on hiring employees, that's a different story. The second you add employees, I believe you actually legally need business insurance. So, you're not inviting clients over to your house to have meetings or to talk about projects. You can literally do everything you're doing online, or, if the client invites you to their office, that's a different story. You can absolutely go in and, take meetings that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that's a good point, because there are two aspects to business insurance: the literal on property insurance, which, to Kate's point, you're not going to be having clients over to your kitchen table. It just wouldn't happen. If you eventually, again, when we can meet people, you're likely going to go to the client's office, or, as Kate said, meet them for coffee. And then the other side of that business insurance is the idea of liability, which, as we said, once you deliver the copy to your client, the copy is putting the client is putting the copy out as themselves. If you are writing copy for McDonald's takes your copy and puts it out, and it then becomes McDonald's voice. So even if somehow you put something in the copy that is incorrect or anything like that, or misleading, although I can't really imagine what you could write about hamburgers that would be, but because McDonald's then takes that copy, runs it through their legal department, and puts it out into the world, it becomes anything that's wrong in that copy is their liability, because it's on them to approve it before it goes out there. So you would never be in a scenario where you are putting copy out there on behalf of your client. That might be something that would be a time to potentially consider business insurance if you were putting copy out on behalf of a client. But as a copywriter, that doesn't really happen. If you also add in additional services to your businesses, which is kind of what we were talking about earlier, that if you're a different kind of freelancer, maybe you should consider it. If you're adding additional services, like if you are writing Facebook ads and then also managing Facebook ads accounts, which is a totally different kind of
Mm-hmm.
career, then maybe that's worth considering business insurance for multiple reasons, not just the copy related. But as a copywriter, because you write copy and then provide it to your client, it then becomes your client's liability if there's anything wrong with it, which of course there probably won't be. There's not a whole lot of damage we can do with copy, but if there is,
But we can.
but we can.
Good
Oh,
damage.
we can. Don't push us. But that becomes your client's liability. So it's not something that you need to worry about as a copywriter.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned earlier talking with an expert on this, and just bear in mind that when you go to talk with an insurance expert, you're going to want to go in and take your time listening to what they're saying and exactly what things cover for what you need. They obviously have an interest in selling you insurance, so they're going to lay, there's so many options. I think people in the group have brought up home-based business insurance because we are home-based businesses. We're writing copy in our homes, most of us. But again, that's, what that generally covers for is, business equipment, small amounts of equipment, and then like liability for third-party injuries. Like we talked about, if someone trips on your doorstep but if you're not having clients, that doesn't really apply to your home-based business. I think so many things are designed for how I think the working world was set up years ago, and haven't quite evolved to where we are now with the internet, and that, we're working with largely, can work 100% online and never meet our clients if we want to. So keep that in mind and really look through what you're being covered for and if you need it. Versus feeling like, obviously if they're good at their job, they're going to sell it to you and you're going to feel like you need it. And you're going to feel like, oh my God, I need this insurance and this insurance. And then all of a sudden you have, hundreds of dollars each month you're paying in insurance.
I'm so glad you brought that up because yeah, you're right. An insurance agent's job is to sell you insurance. So you need to listen very carefully and truly evaluate. Whereas someone like an attorney, although they might not have the insurance information that you need, but an attorney is going to be much more objective. But yeah, an insurance agent's job is to sell you insurance. So if you say to an insurance agent, hey, do I need business insurance? They're going to say, yes, you do.
Yeah.
So that's
especially
not really,
especially if they don't know what a copywriter is, which many of them might not know. They might think it's a legal thing, in which case, they're probably like, of course you need insurance,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another great point. If they don't know what it is that you do, you're going to have to explain to them. But yeah, they are going to say, yes, you need it. Mm-hmm. So instead of asking, do I need it? You want to ask something more along the lines of, what does business insurance cover? What is business insurance? What does it cover me against? Instead of asking, do I need it? I mean, you could, do I need any of these types of insurance? An insurance agent is going to say, yes, you need absolutely all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, another thing to add, if you're super concerned, look up your state's kind of rules around certain things and what you need.
Or countries.
Yes, or countries. Good point. Things vary, obviously, from state to state, country to country. So make sure you're kind of looking into what you might need and then kind of going from there, but not having that panic attack initially. If I need it now, take the time, do your research, but don't, go down that rabbit hole of thinking, letting it be a roadblock. I think it becomes a resistance roadblock for a lot of folks, where it's like, I need this, so now I'm going to give up and not become a copywriter because this just seems like too great of a, financial hurdle, or just in general, hurdle of research and figuring out what it is you need.
Mm-hmm. When it's very likely you don't actually need anything at all.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think the one other thing to add, because I've also seen this in the group of folks kind of thinking down the line of, maybe I want to sell, take credit card payments online for my clients. In that case, you might want to look into something if, I think there's like data breach insurance or like cyber liability type of thing. Sure. You might want to look into that of if I'm collecting sensitive information, not client emails, if you have an email list, great. But if you're collecting, names, addresses, credit cards for payment processing, you
mean payments, clients paying you?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's another thing and we'll get into this on another episode, but client payments can be simple as well. Don't overthink it.
Yes, don't overthink it.
PayPal is just fine. A lot of clients are perfectly happy with that. And there are a couple of other apps that will do it for you online. That's for a small fee.
Yeah. I have to add though, for the first time in 10 years, no joke, I had a client ask if I accepted credit cards. It took 10 years for someone to ask that. And I said, nope. And they said, oh, that's fine. You know, most of our vendors don't like taking credit cards because there is that processing fee.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And they were totally fine doing it another way. So,
and actually,
feel like
I'm saying that's amazing because I've been doing it for more than 15 and I've never had a client ask me if I take credit cards.
Yeah. So I was shocked. But anyway.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think that covers everything everybody needs to know. So in a nutshell, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And if you're worried about it, ask someone who knows, but just be careful what and how and who you ask.
Yeah.
So thank you all for joining us. And of course, we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you don't miss any tips, tools, or tactics for copywriters by clicking subscribe right now. And of course, you can always find us over at filthyrichriter.com. We'll see you next time.